happy day one of Summerween. So I am halfway through You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kellen Bayron. This is really good so far. So this is a YA horror book. The light is not helping me with this library book. But just to tell you a bit about what this is about. So this follows Charity, and she has a summer job working at this camp that they're basically turning into like a sort of haunted house for people to come in and feel like they're at like a slasher summer camp, right? And then weird things start happening, and she sees like something floating in the lake and is thinking that someone that's not supposed to be part of like the fake camp is here actually like hurting people, or something scary is happening, right? So, but yeah, this is really fun so far. I feel like this is just this perfect vibes of just kicking off Summerween with like slasher type vibes. There's a lot of fun references in here to different horror movies and things like that. It is YA, but there's still kind of like a, you know, scary element of it. I think this is a really good kind of just kick off to Summerween, something easy that kind of fits the vibes. The main character is also a lesbian, so there is that representation in here, and then her girlfriend does later come to the camp. I like the dynamics of their little like friend group, but I do wish it was a little bit more in-depth getting to know all of the characters. Like I feel like I know the main character, but the rest of them don't really get that much information on them, so I'm interested to see what's going to happen in this, and then I'll update you when I finish it. So we tried to watch this earlier when it was storming, and it was really bad. I fell asleep. I think I might have got halfway through it, I think, but I didn't look up any of the reviews or anything. I actually just, I saw the DVD at the library, and I didn't even realize that it had came out, and it was in like the new section. I think there's a reason I didn't hear about this coming out, because it was so bad, y'all. Like, I don't know, if you're a Silent Hill fan, like, at all, probably just avoid this. Like, it wasn't even bad in an entertaining way. It was just bad to the point of being boring. I only saw, like, 2 scenes with Pyramid Head as well before I even fell asleep, but, like, he didn't even look right, and the main character's like hair or wig, whatever the hell it was. Yeah, no, it was just bad. I have nothing redeemable to say about that, but I'm glad that I brought it from the library, and happy to be supporting my library, I guess. So that's the only update I have. I'm still reading You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight, and I did start Something's Wrong with Maddie, so I'll tell you more about that once I get like farther into it, because I've just read the first chapter. I might do some baking tonight, because I wanted to try to do the bake a treat thing, whatever. I'm trying to black out that the bingo card that she has for the Summerween prompt thing, so we're trying to like maximize all that this weekend. So hopefully I watch some better movies this week. I mean, nothing can really be worse. and hopefully I stay awake for them as well. Yeah, that's all I got.
So you should generally not do that.
What do you mean?
You should crack it separate in case you get shell in there.
I'm not gonna get any shell with nothing. I'm a pro. Hello, good morning. So I finished You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight yesterday. Overall, I'm going to end up giving this 3 stars. I really liked the first half, but the direction it took in the second half just didn't fully work for me. And the way the kind of like reveals were at the end, overall it was still fun. Like, I definitely liked the setting more so than the story, I guess I'll say. It was just fine overall. It was fine. I think it was a great way to, you know, kick off Summerween and have like slasher vibes and all that, but just without spoilers, there's not that much I can talk about with what exactly it was, but yeah, really just the direction it took for what the reveal was of who the killer was kind of just you know. And then also the stupid choices this main character kept making, and I get that kind of like the point of like final girl slasher stories. You're like, what the hell are you doing, you know, when they keep doing the thing. But yeah, there were just some parts that were annoying with that, but the first half really good. I would still try to read other books by this author. I haven't read any of her other books before, so overall, if you're looking for something just quick read and Summerween vibes, I think that this could work for other people, and just what the specific thing was in the second half that didn't work for me could still be fine for someone else. So finished 1 book so far. And then also yesterday, I haven't made it very far, but I did start Something's Wrong with Maddie. So I literally only read the first chapter, but I didn't realize this was more extreme because it does say equal parts love story and splatterpunk nightmare. So I think this is gonna get pretty violent and gross, so I'm excited for that. But pretty much we follow Piper, and she's working this job at a call center. She's pretty miserable. She goes out to drinks with her coworkers, and they're all like talking about their partners and things that annoy them about their partners and things like that. And then from the back that we learn that Maddie should have stayed dead, but Piper won't let it go. So implying that, well, actually it says it was her girlfriend. So Piper's girlfriend was Maddie. Maddie died at some point somehow. It doesn't say exactly how, but the story is going to be her going through a desperate ritual, dragging Maddie back, but not the girl Piper loves. She's rotting, restless, and hungry in ways that can't be fed with takeout. So this is going to be a zombie girlfriend story, basically. So I will update you when I get farther in this. And then today is also the 4th of July, so completely unrelated to this readathon. or challenge whatever in any way, but I started reading What to the Slave is the 4th of July by Frederick Douglass. This is a speech by him. I haven't read many historicals, so my cat is like looking at jumping on the top of my shelves. And he's really thinking, but Monster, don't do it. Monster, no. Monster, no. Hang on one second. So anyways, What to the Slave is the 4th of July. I picked this up for the 4th of July. I feel like it's an important speech text to read. No, I really haven't read much Frederick Douglass at all. I feel like I've read like passages of his work, like in school as required reading, right? But I think that this is a good place to start, and it's a fairly, short speech to page count wise. It's like 55 pages, so I think this will be good for something to read today. And then additionally, I really want to color today, and something's wrong with Maddie. I don't know if there is an audiobook for that, but I don't want to buy the book in a second format, so I think I'm going to read that physically. But I do have the audiobook for Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones, and this is only 3 hours, so I think I am gonna listen to that, color a little bit, and then I'll update you when I finish something.
But I guess, like, Jessica kind of been, like, withdrawn for a little bit and, like, wasn't really having it. And, yeah. Period.
Not for the flaming hot
Are these
stove.
pictures or videos?
This is a video.
Oh, fantastic. Ayo.
That's something I haven't done like
What's up?
What, taking a video?
Yeah.
Hey.
Recruiting terrorist operatives in Cuba. The Caribbean drug boat strikes of 2025. The 2025 Caribbean drug boat strikes.
Hello, good morning. So yesterday I did end up finishing 2 things. So the first was the speech that I started, the What to the Slave is the 4th of July by Frederick Douglass. This was great. I don't know why I haven't read this earlier. I think this is definitely a crucial read for anyone that is American, or even if you're not and you're just wanting to be familiar with the history of America, you know, what freedom means to Americans and people that have been oppressed by America. This was just a really great read. It was pretty short, like 50 something, 60 pages. I do want to check out the like someone performing the speech, because I do think that just like watching it or listening to it audibly would maybe be a better experience, similar to like when you're reading plays, right? Like it's meant to be performed like a speech. But after reading this, I do want to check out his, I'm not sure if it's, I think it's his memoir, right? I saw like memoir and autobiography, which okay, maybe I'm dumb and I don't fully know the difference between things, but I thought autobiography was like someone wrote it about him and then it like includes sections that he's written too. Either way, his most famous, the book I'm referring to, I'll put it here. I do want to try to read that eventually because I definitely like his writing and the way he phrases things, and I think that would be a good educational thing for me to invest my time in. And other than that, I also finished Night of the Mannequins. So completely different vibe. This was a horror novella by Stephen Graham Jones. I've read a lot of his backlist. There's still quite a few books I need to get to, but this was one of them that was on my list for just books I haven't read by him yet. I do own, let me grab it. So I did have this as a potential book I wanted to read for Summerween, Mapping the Interior, but then yesterday when I saw that Night of the Mannequins was available on my library app for the audiobook and I wanted color, I was like, well, let me just listen to this. But unfortunately now I also want to get a physical copy of Night of the Mannequins because it was really good. So I did end up giving this 5 stars. It was just a short little horror story, and just the way he wrote this really had me invested. I did not see the turn it was taking, and then once it went in that direction I was like, oh, this is what we're doing with this. So it was really fun. Let me see what the synopsis says to see what I can tell you about this. So okay, this description is super short. It's just Stephen Graham Jones returns with The Night of the Mannequins, a contemporary horror story where a teen prank goes wrong and all hell breaks loose. Is there a supernatural cause, a psychopath on the loose, or both? Which, that's pretty much what it is. So the thing with the mannequin, basically, that's the start of the book. There's this friend group that has this mannequin that they were, like, passing around throughout childhood, and... What are you doing with it? Oh my goodness. Anyways. Night of the Mannequins. So these kids have this mannequin that they had been passing around throughout their childhood, kind of had different pranks and things that they've always done in their friend group. And then one day one of the friends decides to sneak the mannequin into the movies, basically, to like play a prank on their friend. Long short, the mannequin comes to life, or so our main character that we're following thinks, and then we follow a journey of him in what he thinks is stopping the mannequin. If you liked Stephen Graham Jones' other book, I Was a Teenage Slasher, I think this would really work for you. It's definitely weird in that Stephen Graham Jones way, I guess, but if you are a fan of his other books, I think this could work for you. It's also just really short. Like, the audiobook was like 3 hours, 2 hours long, I don't know. Yeah, definitely something that I think would be worth picking up. Oh, and I don't think I said it, but the speech, What's the Slave is the 4th of July, I give that 5 stars. I feel like that's kind of a very easy 5 stars to give too. So 2 5-star reads yesterday. That was very successful. I'll update you when I finish something else. What would you rank Jesus Christ, Vampire Hunter?
I don't know if anyone's familiar with The Room, but I think I'd watch that 10 times before watching this again.
You didn't like it?
No.
I thought it was great.
It physically hurt. My head actually hurts from watching this.
What would you rank it out of 5?
Out of 5?
Yeah.
0.2.
I'd give it a 4 out of 5.
Why?
It was great.
How?
The Jesus, the vampires, the hunting, the lesbians. It was great.
It.
Iconic.
No.
The transitions.
Everything hurt. I physically
The original
hurt.
music.
Oh, great. Yes, the music was definitely original. That's for sure.
It was great. It was great.
I'm in pain.
Hi, I'm here with some updates. So, have I finished a book yet? No, but I did start another book. So first let me tell you more about something's wrong with Maddie. So I am only on page 65. I haven't actually made that much progress with this. There's not too much else to say other than what I said in the first clip because I haven't got that much farther, but basically it is just her bringing her dead girlfriend back from the dead, and it very much is like a zombie story. This is kind of sad. Like, the beginning part of it was just, there's a lot of, like, you know, commentary on grief and her processing these things. It's kind of getting into more of like a goofy time now that the zombie is here, I guess. So I'm waiting for it to kind of get batshit, and it hasn't yet. So I think once that starts, I will be more invested. And it sounds stupid, but the other thing that, like, every time I pick this up, I read like one chapter and put it down because it's like one of these long paperbacks, and it doesn't fully like really lay flat. Physically holding this book is what's keeping me back from reading more of it in one sitting. I feel like if I had like read this on Kindle, I would have been flying through it. But no, it's still really good. I'm really liking it. I just need to sit down and read this book and not keep picking up new books. So speaking of new books, I picked up yesterday. I started reading A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. And I've been hearing about this for years. I'm sorry, my cat might jump up here. Okay. As long as you stay there. So A Flicker in the Dark, I've been hearing about this for years as being like one of the best thrillers, just period. I've heard people talk about this when they talk about like Karen Slaughter and Gone Girl and other books in that kind of known thrillers realm. Anyways, I started this yesterday and I am 115 pages in. So I started listening to this audiobook when I was coloring last night. And then I was like, damn, I'm kind of invested, and I was like reading it in bed too. So this follows Chloe Davis. I was like, let me get her name and see what is. I don't want to tell you anything that is not in the synopsis, but just because I don't want to spoil anything, even though I'm still fairly early. Okay, so I guess it doesn't say that part in the synopsis, so I don't want to spoil that for you. But there's a connection in her past with girls going missing and murders in her town that is now coming to light in present day because another girl has gone missing, basically. And there is like parts of her life that she has not told everyone about with her past. Thrillers are so hard to talk about because there's like some things that are spoilers and some things that are just like general little tidbits, but you don't know until you finish the thriller that some of those little things could have been like really big hints at who the killer was. So I don't want to get into speculations on like too much of my theories or anything yet, just in case anyone has not read this yet. But it's very fast-paced. It's very, like, crime-centered, you know, with the girls going missing and things like that. It does remind me of Karen Slaughter's work, just in how kind of, like, darkish, true crimey it is. I think all the characters are really interesting, and I definitely, like, I don't know if I like anyone. Maybe her brother, kind of. I kind of like her brother because she's talking about how she's in present day now about to get married to this man that she just met like a year ago. And she's marrying a man that's in pharmaceutical sales. I don't trust that, just off the bat. So, don't know much else about him, but I don't know. I feel like that's a red flag. So, we'll see what happens with that. Yeah, even like the front of this, it's talking about like edge of your seat story with plot twist you'll never see coming. So we'll see if I see these plot twists coming. I hope I don't. Sometimes with thrillers, if like I guess what it's gonna be, then it's not as fun of a time. But so far, having a great time with this. I might even finish this today. We'll see. I really should try to read more of this, but we'll see. I'm going to try to at least make progress on both of these. And then today is Monday. So I wanted to update you on just kind of like my plans for the rest of the week, the rest of this readathon. So let's just review over kind of the prompts and see what I've accomplished so far. So far for like the prompts that I've completed, read a book in the dark or at night. I was reading You're Not Supposed to Die tonight, the first night of the readathon, so that's done. Read a thriller or horror book. Night of the Mannequins as well as You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight were both horror books, and then now I'm reading a thriller and a horror book, so that is done. Read a new to you author. I had not read from, so I don't have her full name in front of me, the author of You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight. I haven't read from her before, so that definitely fulfills that. And then read a book with pink on the cover. That is the one I do need to finish. So as soon as I finish Something's Wrong with Maddie, we'll be done with that one. And actually, yeah, that's the last prompt I need to actually finish, is the book with pink on the cover, because the other one was read a book with less than 250 pages. And I'm pretty sure Night of the Mannequins is under that. I'm pretty sure. I mean, that audiobook was really short. I'd have to look up the number of pages in the actual book. Hang on, I might have wrote it down. If not, we might have to read something else. Okay, yeah, no, Night of the Mannequins is 135 pages, so that is done. And then, other than that, I'm also trying to complete the bingo challenge. I am trying to get a blackout because I'm a completionist, and we're gonna get it. So far, read a book in the dark is done. Reading a book with pink on the cover, doing that now. Watch a horror movie. We actually did watch, well, I guess a movie and a half, because I fell asleep watching Silent Hill. But we did watch Jesus Christ Vampire Slayer, so that definitely counts as a horror movie. I do actually have a couple other movies just in my collection and checked out from the library that I hopefully want to read, or not read a movie, watch a movie the rest of this week. But with how life gets busy after work, we'll see what I end up getting to. And then read a horror or a thriller book. That's done. Book with less than 250 pages. Did that. Bake a treat. I did bake those brownies the first night. So those actually turned out really good. I haven't made like boxed brownies in a long time, and I really don't cook. So those were a success. I'm happy that I ended up having people come over on the 4th, because I gave them like half of those brownies. Whenever I bake, that's the problem. Like, there's 2 of us in this house and we don't need a whole tray of brownies. So I'm glad that I baked those and also got rid of a lot of them. And then read a new to you author, did that. And listen to a spooky playlist. I did make a playlist on iTunes, so I was listening to that on my iPod yesterday. and then make a fun drink. I kind of did that the first day, and then I did, I don't think I got any footage of it, but on the 4th of July, we made strawberry frozen margaritas, and they were so good. Angelo got this new blender that he was really excited to use, and I was like, we should make frozen mugs. So those turned out great. Highly recommend that. So yeah, we've pretty much almost done everything, actually, even for this. So for the bingo, I just need to read Something's Wrong with Maddie. As soon as I finish that, we will be officially done with like the readathon prompts and everything. But it is Monday and we have until Thursday, so I think I can finish both of these hopefully by tomorrow. I think that's what I'm going to try to commit to. We are going to the Sox game after work tomorrow, so I might be able to read on the train. I could be that person reading at a baseball game, you know, that could be me. But I also need to finish knitting a thing for a baby shower I am going to on Saturday, so okay, I may be either knitting or reading at a baseball game tomorrow, but you know, we'll see. I'll update you on that. I don't know if I probably won't be able to bring this camera with me, but I'll try to get some clips on my phone or something. Hopefully the Sox I think they're actually better this year. If you are following Chicago baseball, I'm so sorry because I am not keeping up with stuff. We just win tickets at bingo and go to the games, but I'll let you know how that goes. And then other than that, I just wanted to go over like the other books that were on my kind of potential TBR and maybe decide like one more that I might try to squeeze in for the rest of this readathon, and then I'll update you when I actually finish something, but let's go through those options. So out of like the very loose TBR that I had at the start of this readathon, which was just pulling books off my shelf and then putting random holds at the library on things that sounded interesting, one of my options was A Murder Most Camp. This actually came out recently and I didn't realize until I like went to the library and it had like the little new thing. I was like, oh, I guess this just came out. I did read the first chapter of this yesterday and I don't think this is for me. It's like about a Nepo baby going to a camp and discovering himself or something, but I don't really want to read from that perspective. I don't know, this is gay, so I thought it had potential, but I kind of don't care after reading the first chapter, and I feel bad saying that, but I think that this is just not for me, and that's okay. There's someone out there that this is for, and I think it's just not me. So probably not going to read this and just going to return it to the library, but we supported the library. So, and then another one, I put both of these on hold because I was like, I want something kind of fun, you know? Which this could be my option for something more fun. Taurus Season by Bryn Weaver. I really hated her other book, Butcher and Blackbird. I don't know why, but I really despise that book. But I've heard that this series is really good, so I do want to give her a second chance with this. And I also heard the audiobook is good, so if the audiobook hold comes in from my library, I will probably pick this up. If it doesn't, I might try reading it with my eyeballs. But we'll see. Because I need to knit, I do want to try to find something that I could potentially find an audiobook to read in tandem with. Another option is We Came to Welcome You. This is on my 26 or 26, so I really should prioritize this. If I don't read this for the readathon, I might still just attempt to read this month in general, because I really like this author and I really loved their other book. So I don't actually know that much about this. I mean, it says a novel of suburban horror. I really do love like small town drama and people being weird in the suburbs, so I have been looking forward to this one. And then another like slasher vibes one is Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. I've been hearing about this and I've heard very mixed things. I did hear that this has I either the author's gay or there's gay representation in this, so that's also what made me pick it up. I would be excited to read a like more adult slasher after reading the You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight book, so that could be that vibe potentially. Another option, which I'm really highly considering this, is The Lamb. I've heard nothing but great things about this. This is like, I think mother and daughter cannibals in the woods. And that sounds great. That sounds like a wonderful time. So I might need to prioritize this one. So far, this is like number one in my mind. And then another option is just the classic Welcome to Horrorland by R.L. Stine. I read this as a child. I have not read this in probably 20 years, so could be a good time to revisit it. And then I mentioned this briefly before, Mapping the Interior. This is another short, Stephen Graham Jones, that has been on my TBR that I would like to read. Again, this one, if not for this readathon, I do want to squeeze in this month at some point. And then last one I had was The Summer I Died. Looking at the size of this text, I don't think this is going to happen for this readathon. I actually haven't heard many people talk about this, but I have heard it's very violent and very gory, and that could be the vibe, potentially. So if I'm looking for something kind of more extreme, I would consider picking this up. I do want to see how extreme Something's Wrong with Maddie gets, because if that is also very extreme, I don't want to like follow up with another extreme-ish horror book, if that makes sense. So far, definitely considering The Lamb, seeing if I can get the audiobook possibly for the Bryn Weaver book, and my cat is scratching. The cat scratcher you're on top of, so you're shaking. I'm so sorry. We're gonna end it here. I'll update you when I finish something. Bye. Hi, hello. So good news is I got a microphone. Bad news is it's super staticky when I do connect it, and I need to figure out how to connect this properly, but soon the audio is gonna improve, so watch out for that. For now though, I wanted to update you on some books. So first, I did finish A Flicker in the Dark. This was amazing. I gave this 5 stars. This was just everything I wanted in a thriller. I was definitely shocked by who the person was, and like the reveals and the twist and everything. So this definitely got me. Maybe thinking back, there were hints at who it was along the way, but I was like so set on it being another character that I didn't even catch on to that. So 5 stars, love this. I will definitely read more from this author. If you're looking for something just like fast-paced, lots of twists and turns, kind of like murder mystery family drama type of story, then I definitely recommend picking this one up for sure. And then I also finished Something's Wrong with Maddie, and I also actually give this 5 stars. So I know that I mentioned in my clip before this that I was kind of like struggling with picking this up a little bit. And I think it really was just the way I was holding this paperback was being weird for me. But as soon as I hit like the 100-page mark, I was invested in this. I actually ended up reading this like to and from on the train when we went to the Sox game, and from that point on, I was just like flying through it. It definitely gets pretty gruesome in terms of like the killing and eating and being a zombie, like that whole thing. So, I mean, if you don't like to read more extreme stuff, this probably would not be for you. But, I mean, based off some other stuff, I guess I'm probably not the best point for this. But, like, based off more extreme stuff I read, this was not that bad in that regard, you know? But I really loved the representation here. This was gay, there was a lesbian couple, and there was also trans rep in here, so that was really cool to see. And then also just the way this was written was really good. Like, this had me feeling a whole spectrum of emotions. This was like a horror book and a love story, and there were like some jokes in here. I really like the there's a side character called Steph in here who's like, I don't think she's the owner, but she like works at like the witch shop that early on in the story our main character goes to like buy the basically ingredients she needs like for this spell, and she's like, maybe don't do what you're trying to do, you know? But she ends up being a character that's part of the story throughout the book, and I just really loved her humor throughout everything. She was so unhinged. I don't know, great character. I would definitely pick up more of this author's book. This is an indie author, as far as I could see, like self-published. So I did see that she has one other book. I think it came out earlier this year or last year, so I will check that out for sure because I really liked this writing. And then also I have not finished it, but I did start, I was about to hold this book backwards. I started The Lamb, so I am like 100 pages into this, a little over 100 pages. This is really good. So far, I guess I should hold it this way so y'all can see. Whatever. Anyways, this is really good so far. It is exactly what I said it was. It's a mother and daughter that live in the woods that are cannibals, and they're basically like luring these people to their home to then eat them. I think there's a lot of conversations that could be happening or already kind of like being hinted at about like having abusive parents and like this girl's experience growing up with that. And as much as she's like in on it, she's also a child, so it's like makes you think about children being held accountable for things. But yeah, I really like the writing. The chapters are very short. I'm trying to see the way they phrase it for what they call people that they are eating, basically. Okay, so they refer to just like the general people that are not them as the strays, and the strays are like basically anyone that they come in contact with that they could potentially murder and eat. So that's really interesting. Then they end up having this girl, I swear her name is Eden, I don't have the thing in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it's Eden. So Eden comes in like the middle of the winter and kind of stumbles upon their house and then is now living with them, so that is taking a turn. Yeah, it was just straight up like violent and cannibalism from the jump, but it's also very like literary. I don't know, this is, I mean, pretty much what I expected it to be, and I'm having a fun time, I guess, as fun of a time as I can have. So I'll update you when I get farther in this or finish it. I do want to try to finish it tonight, hopefully, and then update you, because today is Thursday, so it is the last official day of Summerween. If I need to push it and just end this vlog on Friday, I will, because I do want to try to squeeze this book in, but this is 326 pages and I'm on page 111, so we'll see. Like I said, it's very short chapters and it's definitely pretty fast paced with everything, so hopefully it'll be a pretty quick read. So I'll update you once I finish something else, but so far, I mean, I think this has been a great readathon. I had quite a few 5-star reads. I've definitely read some really great new to me authors and picked up some stuff that I probably wouldn't have picked up outside of this readathon and like trying to fill the specific prompts. So yeah, it's been a great week, and I will see you probably in the morning when I finish The Lamb, because it's gonna be like super late tonight. So yeah, I'll update you when I finish that. Bye. Hi, hello, happy Friday. So it is now the next day. I did end up finishing The Lamb this morning. This was really good. I ended up giving this 4 stars. It really felt like it could have been a 5-star, like the first like 30%. I think that the only thing that, well, one of the main things that kind of kept me from giving it 5 stars was it did kind of drag a little bit in the middle, but that's kind of my only critique of it. I mean, the story itself, like just the way it's written, because the chapters are so short, definitely flies by. There were just like a couple moments that were like, okay, come on, let's get to the next thing kind of feeling. But no, other than that, I mean, I really love this. This was, I don't know why I didn't read this when it came out, because I didn't even realize that I got this from some sort of like book box or something. I finally stuck this in this signed little like nameplate thing. I forget where I got this from, that it came with that, but I was looking it up and I think this was her debut, and it doesn't look like she's written anything else since this, but I would definitely pick up more work from her. There's not really too much else to say without getting into spoilers from what I said initially. I mean, it really is just commentary on this mother-daughter relationship. There's definitely some gruesome scenes with the cannibalism in here, and there's some gross stuff with mold. Like, I don't know why the scenes with the mold bothered me more than the people eating in a lot of ways, but yeah, this was fun, and I really did like the writing in here too, so definitely recommend giving this a shot if that sounds like something that you're interested in. This does also help me fulfill some of my prompts I'm trying to do for, I don't know if anyone else is on Pagebound. It's an app that they have different like quests and things, and I know this is one that's on like the Weird Girl books or something, one of those quests. So I have a few of those I'm trying to complete, so I'm glad that I got something finished that was also on there. I did want to talk about a couple books that I have read before this, that if you liked those, you will probably like this. So first one is definitely A Certain Hunger. So this is about a woman that is in prison, and she's like recounting her life of her cannibalistic endeavors. This also has pretty like, I guess, flowery prose, or like a creative writing style, I guess, is the reason that besides the cannibalism, this came to mind when I was reading The Lamb. And then another one that I think could be comparable in some ways, or just if you liked it, I think you would also like The Lamb, is Victorian Psycho. So this is historical, and it's basically this lady that's like trying to present as like the perfect governess and goes on like a killing rampage. Just the way that the main character is in this definitely reminded me of some of the characters in The Lamb, so that's where I got that connection from. But yeah, I also do recommend both of these are really good. I think I gave this 5 stars. I think I gave this 4 stars, possibly 3.5. But these are both like short-ish books as well. Actually, this feels long when you're reading it, I will say. But I really love this story. So that's it for my reads for Summerween. This was a very successful week, successful readathon. I look forward to Summerween and also Winterween when they roll around every year, hosted by Gabby. I'll link her channel announcement video down below. And I definitely recommend following her and her future channel updates, readathons, things like that. She definitely really makes everyone feel involved in and brings like the community aspect of it to these readathons, which is always just so great to see what everyone else is reading and find people with similar tastes and all of that. So if you made it to the end of this, thank you so much for watching. I will hopefully maybe see you in a vlog soon. Bye.